Thank you for joining us, everybody. Today, we are here with the one and only Gene Rivers for today's CV and caffeine. And we are going to be talking all about the 30, 60, 90. Yeah, I got my caffeine too.
I got my caffeine right here, kid.
I don't drink coffee, for those of you that don't know and have ever watched this, but you will usually see me with like a can of sparkling ice, or today it was a caffeinated noon. I got my caffeinated noon in here. So my caffeine, not brown tar water. I'm not a coffee person.
Oh, whoa, be careful here, girl. I guess you don't like chocolate either. What's the matter with
Not
you?
very much, actually. Someone's got to be the outlier here. And so I
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
So today, again, we're here for our 30, 60, 90. We're going to talk about best practices, why it's important, where we see common pitfalls, and how to really make the best of onboarding somebody for success, because that's really what the 30, 60, 90 is all about. For those of you that don't know Gene Rivers, you're going to get to real familiar with him over the next 30 minutes. And fun fact, Gene Rivers is also my OP of the office I joined 18 years ago when I got into real estate in 2006. So welcome, Gene, to CV and Caffeine today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yes, I've had the privilege of not only knowing you, but watching you build a magnificent career in this industry. I've been blessed to be able to do that with Rebecca and and you're doing the same thing. It's great.
Well, thank you. All right, so let's talk 30, 60, 90.
Yeah.
Right. We've got the career visioning process, which is the very small part of how do we actually interview and make sure we've got the right candidate. But then let's say we've got the perfect candidate. I found them. They're great. I got everything in alignment. We move into the 30, 60, 90. Tell us about the 30, 60, 90 and really just kind of your perspective. Let's start with why it's so important on there.
Sure. Bottom line, the 30, 60, 90 is about ROI, return on investment. You're going to hire somebody and you're going to pay them money and you're going to spend time on them. And the whole reason you're doing that is to not only increase your revenue, but to also make a profit. You're not just trying to make money to pay for them. If that's all you're doing, you're running adult daycare. And, agents laugh at that, but they don't understand. I've met people who hire people and literally they're breaking even on that hire. And they feel lucky that they're getting their paycheck back, but that's ridiculous. You should get a multiple back. If an agent hires any admin, they should get at least 24 units out of that hire. At the national average sales price, 10 grand a pop, that's $250,000. That's why you hire people, to make some more money, not just profit. Not just money, you want to make a profit.
We just did a session on Monday. We run it quarterly, and it's called Double Your Business with Your First Hire, right? And people are like, oh, how do I double my business with my first hire? And while I would love to say that it's like Willy Wonka's golden ticket and that's going to be the magic key, the reality is it's nailing the 30, 60, 90, right? It actually is. It's nailing the 30, 60, 90, as you said, to do the 24 additional units, which is about, for a lot of markets, $200,000 to $250,000 in GCI, depending on your point and what you charge. And people are just flabbergasted that they could double their business with their first hire. And a lot of that's where they're not hitting the 30, 60, 90 on there. When you look at the 30, 60, 90, like let's talk about the first 30 days, right? Let's imagine it actually is your first hire. You're busy. You're hiring somebody because you've done all you can do without getting leverage and you're feeling that strain. You're probably dropping a couple of balls on transactions or missing some calls or emails. But now
customer service is going down.
Customer service is going down, but now you actually have a body that you are paying a large amount of money to, that you now have to train and onboard, but you're already at your capacity. How do we do it? Right? Like when we look at that 30-day, how do we actually get the first 30 days without saying, I'm going to spend today with you, and then, oh, by the way, tomorrow something came up and I can't, and then just falling off the slippery slope of doom of not onboarding that person?
Yeah, none of that matters. And I hear this all the time. I don't know how you find the time to train somebody. I'm just so dang busy. You don't get it. When you hire somebody, you're paying them money for 2,000 hours of work a year, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, 2,000 hours. You do not lose time, you gain time. 2,000 hours. The question is, do you know what to do with those hours? And as you said, your question to me is, well, how does that look in the first 30 days? How do you do that? And it's not complicated. All agent businesses, all of them, single agent, team, group, small group, big group, all of them are built on four things: contacts, appointments held, clients in a 90-day pipeline, and fully executed contracts gotten on that person, on those clients. So what has to happen in the first 30 days? In your business, you hire that first admin, the first 30 days, the first week of the 30 days, the first day of the 30 days, you need to be making more contacts than you've ever made with that person. If you don't start making more contacts right away, the problem is you might not be clear about what the job is. So the job is to help you make more contacts than you've ever made so you can have more appointments than you've ever made, so you can build a bigger pipeline of business so that you can get contracts. And you got 90 days to make that happen. And the issue is in the one thing book. The one thing book says, well, what is the one thing I can do that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? And the easiest way for you to train somebody is first hire the right person. And this is the biggest mistake. It is the biggest mistake. If you're hiring your first admin in our company, you will have heard the saying, your business is your database. And I think agents hear it and it goes in one ear and out the other. So most agents don't use command well, and yet they've been told your business is your database. Hello, your business is so off right now. It's so tough. Well, how many of your sphere have you called 4 times this year? And you get a blank look. Like none. I'm not kidding. It's like none. And you wonder why your business is off. Well, okay, there you go. So all that stuff you were saying, when somebody's doing 36 deals a year, they've got 3 closing this month, 3 closing next month, 3 that they're trying to put together for the 3rd month out. You're juggling 10 or 12 deals because not everything's going to happen. And that's where you get lost in the paperwork, the details, and customer service is going down. So when you hire that first person, the very first day, you should tell them, when you're setting expectations before you hire them. I'm going to give you a short little script, Liz. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go for it. It's a conversation.
Okay.
James, conversation framework.
Okay. All right. So Liz, I'm so excited about the chance of being in business with you. And I want to ask you a question. Do you believe your potential in your role with me is that my potential business opportunities grow? Do you understand that if this business grows, you get more compensation, more opportunities? Yes or no? Can we agree that everybody that you know, your family members, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, where you work currently, all of those people use our product? All of them, 100% of them use housing, and about 70% own and about 30% rent if that's a typical demographic. That means that those people are going to be changing their housing out, and they're either going to do it with us, increasing your opportunities, or they're going to do it with our competitor, hurting not only your opportunity, but my opportunity. So you're going to need to load your database in there, and we're going to market to them, and you're going to call them, and I'll see them on appointments. Are you clear about this? And they're going to say, well, yeah, sure, I get it. So on day 1, you're going to come in and you're going to be putting 10 names in the database of people that you know. I'd like you to end up with 200 or more, but 10 a day will be 50 a week, 4 weeks. That's 200 names put in your first 30 days. What we know through research is if you talk to 200 people about housing, you're going to find opportunities, and I'll be the one you'll be booking an appointment for. And you're going to start booking appointments for me from your database in the first 30 days. However, you'll also be doing calls on my behalf to my past clients. I have people that I've sold to all year, 36 people I've helped buy or sell in the last 12 months, and they need to be called. I should have been making 30-day care calls, 60-day care calls, 90-day care calls, 120 days, 180 days, 270 and 360. I should have called them 6 times since they closed, and I haven't done it. You're going to start making those calls. Wherever they are in the process, you're going to call and say, Hey, it's your 6-month anniversary of moving. Gene wanted me to check in with you to see if everything is okay. If you need any help, it's summertime. Is there anything we can do? Do you need a pool cleaner? Anything we can do? Nothing really? Well, as always, Gene wanted me to remind you that the only way he knows he does a great job is if you refer somebody to us. Do you know a family member, friend, or coworker that Gene and I could help? Because now it's me, and it'll help. You'll be helping me in my job, and it'll be helping
Be
yourself.
helping you stay employed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Now the flip side about did you hire the right person? If you're hiring any admin, and if you're a single agent contemplating a hire, you need to hear this. You better be scanning the resumes looking for one thing. It's a kicker that if you don't see it, you don't go any further. And that is database experience, database management, database campaigns. If they literally don't put database as a key talent or skill that they have, why are you looking at them? 18 years of administrative function and no database mention? That's the wrong administrator. That's a file coordinator. That is not a database manager. So if you hire a database manager and they were trained for it in college, if they have a Bachelor of Science in business management, they're taught all about database management, just-in-time production. That person is trained in college and automatically knows way more about command than you do. They don't need to know command. They need to know database, and database is database. And somebody knows database, they'll pick up on command faster than you ever could as an agent.
I think I think that's such a crucial spot to look at there, because a lot of folks, right, when we talk about this, when it comes to writing the job description, of a lot of folks start just outlining all the things I need you to do. Well, they're going to, order the trash bags for the office, and they're going to check my email, and they're going to do these things. Well, they may do all of those things. But to your point, when we're looking at what's the thing I need you to do that at 30 days, if you can't do it, is you're not working out in the role. The database is the core and the heart of the business. It's what we make our money off of. It is the gold, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And if they can't function inside of it, you now have to train somebody on the core 20% of their job, which is managing and making sure everything is running smoothly. Because as the agent, we're naturally not really good at that, right? And then you've got to learn it to teach them how to do it. And now this is where your job has gotten exponentially harder by making a hire. Your job gets easier when you hire the right person. Your job gets a lot harder when you hire the wrong person.
That's right.
And I don't think a lot of people look for that word database in the resume.
No, they don't. They don't. And in the leverage series in CV, it says it loud and clear. You're looking for the person whose next career opportunity, the next step up, is your opportunity. And that literally means they've got 70% or more of what you need under their belt. And the number one thing they should have under their belt is database management, because that is your business. So why would you hire somebody who has no familiarity with the one tool that makes it really, really productive? That's it. And how does it work? Starts day one. We're going to have people that we're going to call, and we're going to email them, and we're going to follow up again with them. And sooner or later, we're going to have an appointment with them or someone that they know. That thing, that's a business thing. That's not a real estate thing. So if they have a business degree, they understand about business. All businesses have past clients. They have future clients. They have marketing that needs to be done. They have budgets. So the idea that an agent's going to train somebody on how to be a business person, and I love you all, but most of you are lousy business people. You're just lousy business people. How does that square in your head? I'm going to train them. Come on. If you hire the right person, and I'm dead serious about this, if you hire the right person at your 30-day review, formal sit down and talk about what's happened the first month, they're going to say, well, frankly, Mr. Rivers, I have to tell you, I have no idea how you got as far as you did, because you're a god-awful mess. And that's true.
You're going to be
and
like,
we all know you did it by creativity. That's how you did it. You were just slapdashing everything because you're good with people and you made it work. But now it's time to get serious. It's time to treat it like a business. Hire somebody who understands business and understands tools used in business. like budgets, like plans, like a database. That's what you're looking for, Liz. So,
well, one of the things we see so often is, well, I'm too scared to hire full time. I need, right. And here's where we're talking about this of what's the pain point the agents are finding. They're probably not doing the touches to begin with, like you said, yet the transactions require management. And so they look at, since I'm not doing the touches anyways, that's not painful because I'm not even doing it. I'm just ignoring it. And then there's the transactions that are gnawing at you day in and day out that need help. So they go, I'm going to hire a transaction coordinator. And so many people make their first hire focused on transaction coordination instead of focused on database in that 30 days, which transaction coordination needs to be done.
Yep.
But the business is the database. And that key role is the database and the systems and the documentation to make sure that you actually do your job, which is making the phone calls and the contacts.
Yeah, but also the database is where you run the transaction management through. So it's a bigger tool that does lots of things. And this is done a lot, Liz, just the way you described it, for a simple reason. Help is good. Help is good. But what people don't understand is help can give you the false impression that you've done all you need to do right now. And if you want to have a truly smooth running business that grows successfully, you've delayed your growth because you've got some help, you've got some relief, and now you pull back from thinking about any growth. But if that person lets you do 12 more deals a year, okay, but how do you get those leads? Because that person's not doing any lead generation marketing for you. They're not making their own phone calls. They're not bringing their own database. So you're freer to do more deals. It doesn't mean the deals are flowing just because you want them. You didn't hire anybody to help you with your lead flow. All you got done was the TC piece. So don't get confused about this. If you want a real business, you need a real person 40 hours a week. Period. That's it. So the whole point about the first 30 days, Liz, is that they shadow you. So if you're a new agent, you tell them, here's the deal.
Glue.
That's right. Here's the deal. I'm giving you a folder. It's got 5 tabs. It says lead generation, seller, buyer, financial, and growth. Those are the systems in my business. Here's the folder. It's blank inside each tab. Your job is to fill this thing up. And by the end of 90 days, we will be running per all the systems you've built out here. And you're not making these up in your head. You're going to follow me. You're going to see exactly what I do. And you're going to start documenting it. And then you're going to start assembling it. And I will consult you on pieces that you don't understand about why I do what I do. But you're going to consult me on pieces that I clearly am missing and am not doing well because you understand business and databases. And now I will be your pupil. You're going to teach me to be a better business person because you're more of an expert at it than I am. I'm great at sales. You're good at business. That's why we fit together. So in the first 30 days, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to be with you all day long, every day. If you look at the growth control relationship graph, Liz, in the 30, 60, 90, it's also in CV process. Yep. It is beautiful. It says you hire somebody, they know nothing. So you got to give them all your time and attention. They might know all about business, but they don't know about your business. And maybe they don't even know about real estate. And that's all okay, as long as they know business, because that's what you don't know. So it says at the end of 30 days, they're going to start to need less of your time and you're going to get more of your time back. So you'll literally be with them every day, at the end of every day, evaluating what's being done. But realize in the first week, you go out and you put up a sign because you took a listing. They were on the listing appointment with you when you took it. They were there on Thursday, their first week, and they went to the appointment with you. And you showed them, put the sign up like this, not like this. Go 2 houses back in both directions to make sure it's clearly visible on the street. We're going to put the key in the lockbox. The lockbox goes here or here, nowhere else. You get the key made at Larry's shoe store, and there's 3 people there, but only Larry makes good keys, so get Larry to make the key. Now, if you hired the right person, they're taking notes.
Write it down.
Taking notes. They're taking notes. They're taking notes. Guess what? At that moment, 3 days in, you'll never put another sign up. You'll never make another key. You'll never put on another lockbox. You'll go back with some temporary pictures. You'll say, I have a templated initial flyer for any new listing. They're going to say, get out of my way. I know how to do publishing. And they're going to publish your flyer and improve your template while you watch them and go, this is garbage. Let me show you how to do this. And then you'll never make another brochure. So my point is, you'll be shredding jobs in the first week. And in the first month, you will be shredding jobs. In the first month, they'll be making the follow-up calls to all your sellers and your buyers. They're going to start making all of those calls. You gain time, 2,000 hours. You can give them this job and that job and that job and that job. And if they don't get this stuff, this simple stuff, if they're not taking notes, you hired the wrong person. Literally.
Let's imagine we get to 30 days.
Yeah.
And we're realizing I hired the wrong person. All these things Gene says should be happening are not happening. I'm getting more jobs back. I'm not getting more productive. They're overwhelmed. They get into the database. They're constantly having to ask me questions. They're not documenting things. Let's say I get to 30 days. I see a lot of people hold on to somebody because they don't want to go through the pain of hiring him again. I'm a firm believer in the first time you think you need to fire somebody is the time that you need to let them go, right? The first time you're like, I don't think this is working out is likely the time where you need to let them go. And yet we see people just drag somebody on.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think it's right to let someone go in the first 30 days?
I think it could be sooner than that. It's little signals. It's little signals. If you ask anybody who made a great hire, they'll tell you this. After a week, I'm going, oh, I'm so lucky I found her. She's amazing. And the first month, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. This is amazing the way my life is changing. You got to be attentive. If they don't come to work on time, that is not good. If they watch the clock and leave at 4:59 every day the first week, you need to be scratching your head and go, I think maybe I don't have the right person here. I need to see some giddy up and go. It's more when you hire the right person, they'll often be there after hours, not because you ask them. If you tell them, go home, what are you doing here? It's 5:45, go home. And they'll always say something like this. I'm almost done. I just want to finish this up before I go. There you go. There's the good up and go. If they show up at the interviews, I expect, now this is for this kind of hire, Liz, I expect them to show up with a notepad and a list of questions they have for you. That's a telling sign. If somebody shows up for this first admin job and they ask you, oh, could I borrow a piece of paper to take notes? Oh my God.
Yeah, not your person. Oh my God. They're gonna constantly be asking you things to do to their own job for like eternity at that point.
That's right. That's right. They're telling you I'm essentially clueless. You know, things just don't come clear to me. You know, oh my God, I need to take notes. Oh my God. Right?
I make the jokes. I make the joke sometimes, whether you're making your first hire or your 17th first hire. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't get it right the first time because they either haven't gone through career visioning or they shortchange the process or they are unclear about who they actually need to be hiring in the first place. How often do you think people get it right on the first hire? Just a percentage. What do you think it is?
Oh, I think it's maybe 10%.
That means that 90% of you watching this probably need to reassess the quality of the first hire that you have if they're still in the business and make sure, do I actually have the right?
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. Because you got to understand something. Most agents that make their first hire, number one, they've never hired anybody.
Yep.
Number two,
never, in any previous career, never, nothing. Yeah.
Never. And number two, they're not clear what they're looking for and what the 20% of the job is. So if they never hired anybody and they don't know what the 20% is and they're not clear how the process works, well, there's going to be a bunch of mistakes because people are hiring for relief. And again, relief feels good. So if they're simply answering the phone, a lot of agents go, thank God, right?
They don't get anything else out of them long term. And all of a sudden that ceiling of achievement you realize is very low and you're spending a lot of money for it.
So again, in the first week, if they're not taking notes, you're going to be saying, why aren't you writing down what I'm telling you? I'm explaining to you what my job is. You're supposed to be filling out my systems, my seller system. I'm describing why I'm doing the market analysis and what I'm going to do to send out a pre-listing package via email with some form. Why aren't you writing any of this down? I mean, it's hard stop. When you see a behavior that doesn't make sense to you, it is a hard stop. I'm not sure how you're going to be able to fill out these systems if you're not taking notes while I'm explaining what I'm doing. Oh, I didn't look at it that way. What do you mean you didn't look at it that way? What do you mean you didn't look at it that way? What's not clear about 5 tabs, fill in all my systems? And the point I'm getting at is there's signs, Liz. You said people don't get it right and they ignore it. You pay attention early on. The first week, you need to feel like, oh my God, she's so smart. She takes notes. I'm so excited about this person. Instead of, well, I don't know, little training, little coaching, maybe you can get them there.
Setting somebody up for success in their first 30 days is not about absolutely being perfect and training them on everything, right? Nope. It's just not. It is a lot about the time we spend with them. They need that time. If you abandon them at their desk and just say, here, read this book and I'm going to go sell some houses and I'll check in on you later, that person's not going to succeed, because as Gene's telling you, they need to see what you're doing, to document what you're doing, to be able to make it better and fulfill it and actually create it into a system. And that time is crucial. The time, I think, is shortchanged frequently, and it's crucial.
Frequently, almost always it's shortchanged. If you look at the growth control relationship graph, it literally says, and it's got little hash marks for the weeks on the bottom. It literally says, first month, you were there every day with them every day. You're there in the morning with them. You're with them at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you do a report. What did you learn today? What is your ahas? Are there any skills you feel you need? Are there tools that we need? You keep investigating. How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? And when you get the end of the first month, you will have a realization that I've given quite a few jobs up to this person, and I'm comfortable that they're nailing all of those. Nobody's called me saying you tramped on their flowers when you put the sign up. Nobody called me, said the key didn't fit in the lock. Everything is going smooth. You've got it. Then you'll shift in the second month. You'll shift into accountability, not being daily, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The start of the week, the end of the week, and midweek. So you're giving up control because they've taken control over what you've given them. And it's going smoothly. By the end of the second month, if you look at the growth control graph, they're going to accelerate in their success in the role. And you're going to shift somewhere in that fourth month or third month, you're going to shift to Monday and Friday. And by the end of the 30, 60, 90, they're totally teed up for just Monday morning, the 411 accountability session. And at the end of the week, they'll maybe give you a written or verbal report, however the level of talent it is. If you have a really talented person, they'll send you a detailed Friday report because that's who they are. They're that detail oriented.
All right, Gene. Last mic drop, the words of wisdom. It's 11:45. You're at our time. What's the one thing you would leave everybody with in regard to the 30, 60, 90 of, if you heard nothing else in the last 30 minutes, hear this.
You will not be successful unless you put time and money into developing talent, and it should show up sooner, not later.
Ooh, I like that one. It's not just time, it's money. Yep. And both those things mean hire the right person, onboard them both. Gene, thank you. I know you took time away today for us to be here, and we appreciate it. For everybody else, we will see you next month on CV and Caffeine. If you've got any questions, you need anything, post in the comments. We will link to any of the Leverage Series classes we know that are going on for you, that are out there and available. As well, Gene's got some other classes he hosts, so follow him on Facebook. He's frequently got some stuff on there for early stage team building, and we will see you all next month. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, Liz.